was strolling YouTube, I came across a video by Duke Jackson, and he was covering Lori Harvey and Steve Harvey's relationship in relation to the breakup between Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. How, of course, everyone has been talking about how she must feel letting go of such a good man, not just because he won an Oscar, but because of his character, the way he carries himself, no children, no drama that we know of.
This guy is not a representative. He is genuinely who he looks like he is, and he's. I mean, like, it threw me off at first because he was so kind.
Right.
I figured, okay, this is the game, right?
Right.
But it wasn't, man. This dude was sincere, and he's proven to be a really, really good guy, man. I'm actually. I mean, look, I'm pulling for him.
Yes.
I'm pulling for them.
A good man just passed her by. And the topic that he was basically covering was coming from a father's perspective when it came down to Lori Harvey. How he even had some examples of women who were raised with their fathers and how they are, daddy's little girls and stuff. And trust me, I am one myself. I am a mama and daddy girl, but I always gravitated to my father due to work schedules and things of that nature growing up. There's a special bond between a father and his daughter. That is the first man that she loves. A father is the first man that protects her, that holds her. He is also the man that shows her, by example, how a woman is to be treated by a man. He brings her little surprises home every now and again. She kind of gets her way with her father a little bit. But a good father also disciplines and teaches her right from wrong and what to look for in a man. By example, he does that. Traditionally, by the way he treats his wife, the daughter's mother. That's his queen. So he shows, leading by example, the daughter how she is to be loved because he shows her through the way he loves the wife. Traditionally, we're in a whole different time frame. But good times. I love the way Florida and James got along. They had their spats. Florida still respected James as the head of the household, and Florida knew how to get her way and have James to see things her way. She had her own woman power. So I truly believe that Steve loves Lori as his own, but he was not able to raise her as his own. There's a difference. And sometimes the conflict when you have blended families it's a major conflict in our society today, in our own community today. And that's what a lot of these red pill or men are saying, when it comes down to us women being single moms and things of that nature, wanting and inviting a man into our home to be around our children. And they may even marry us. They may even, take care of all the bills. But when it comes down to discipline, that's for the mom and the mom only. So that's their gripe on that side. But in this situation with Lori Harvey and Steve Harvey, if Steve was her biological father, based off of his characteristics, based off of his personality and how he was raised, his core, she would not be that type of woman. She wouldn't be, because he would have instilled in her the morals, the characteristics, and he would have shown her how a true man supplies and takes care of his family. And that even means discipline and being strategic and things of that nature. Honoring yourself. We take a lot of stuff for granted, but we as parents, we are our children's first teacher. There was another lady who I've been following for a while, K&K Squad. She said something, and that's my girl. I've been watching her, but she said something I disagree with. She said, I teach my children to do as I say and not as I do. And that's the mindset of a lot of people, especially in our communities. We have to actually lead by example. The reason we don't have a lot of respect in our churches today, in our politics today, is because the leaders are not leading by example. Same way in your household. You have to lead our children, our young ones, our tender plants, by example. They can see what you do and hopefully mimic that. Lori, even though her name may be Harvey, does not conduct herself in the way that a Harvey would. She was a part of the package. Whatever you like, baby, whatever you like. That was his dream. That was his paramount, was to get Marjorie. Steve said he knew the moment he saw Marjorie at the comedy club that he had to have her. She, at that point in time, was unattainable for him, but he was willing to do whatever it took for him to acquire her, to get her. And he knew what that meant, what that cost. And Marjorie got a great return in that she was able to further the interest of her children. It's almost like Beyonce and Jay-Z. We know good and doggone well that if Jay-Z was just an ordinary brother out here and he wasn't established, there would be no way in the world he would have been able to get Beyonce. Same thing. So in Marjorie's case, she was able to further the interest of her children, almost like Cinderella, the story of Cinderella. It was negotiations on Marjorie's part, in my opinion. And the last name of a celebrity and being that closely tied to a celebrity could open major doors for her children. And it did. Open major doors for Lori. She was able to date top tier men in the industry. Traditionally, a good father wouldn't want his daughter to be passed through and pass through the city and be on these city streets like that, because he has a love for his daughter and hopefully he has taught her about self-love. Self-love is totally different than self-preservation. Totally two different things. But that wasn't Steve's role. Steve's role was to, and goal and role was to get Marjorie and everything that comes with it. So this is what Steve bought. This is what he was willing to take on. And unfortunately for Lori, because I love Black love, I love it. I love when we can create together amongst each other and become great. I love it. But because she did not have that foundation, Steve Harvey was just a bank and an avenue, was an avenue for her to get what she wanted all along: fame and stardom, to be amongst a society that's awaiting her downfall. Because misery loves company. Anywho, may the most high bless.